Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at the Partner Go-to-Market Institute. Today, I have a special guest, Rachell Weiss, who is a Service Partner Manager at Thoropass. Hey, Rachell, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Let's go straight to the point, Rachell. How about you tell us a little bit about how did you start in the partnerships world and what are you doing today?
I landed in partnerships by accident. I did not know what partnerships was. I actually used to be a high school science teacher, and then
Oh.
I switched to corporate training. I was training bank partners, and I was running a channel program, but I had no idea that I was doing it. And then I ended up switching to being working with remote companies and
Hmm.
training channel partners again. But again, I didn't know I was in the channel, and then. I got hired here at Thoropass and I was building out their enablement program. In a series of events, I ended up running their full partner program. So I got immersed in all things partnerships. I have really honed in on referral and reseller partnerships.
Hmm.
And now I spend a lot of time on just resellers with our reseller
Yeah.
program. So I do all things with our resellers from acquisition to getting them in the partnership to enablement to co-selling to the CX side of things. So it's really owning that partner journey from start to ongoing success.
Yeah. I think that, like you said, we all ended in partnerships by accident. I don't think anybody was like in high school saying, "Oh, I want to become a partner professional."
No,
That doesn't
you think
exist.
of
So,
the like career day when you were a kid,
mhm.
and nobody comes into career day and is like, I'm a service partner manager, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
they all the kids are like, I don't know what that is. And it's like, oh, but I have
Yeah,
a really cool job. Like no one
yeah. We need to change that for the new generation, maybe.
knows.
So you're a service partner manager, but I have seen some of your work, and I am very impressed with it, to be honest. I've seen you drive into some of the challenges that partner operations teams have. And I'm curious to hear from you first. How do you define partner operations? What do you think is the ideal state of partner operations? What does it include? And also, what shouldn't be included in it?
Yeah. So, partner operations is a piece of my job that I actually really, really enjoy. But again, I didn't know what it was. And I just kind of
Hmm.
fell into it. If I were to define partner operations, it's designing systems of how your organization interacts with partners and how partners interact with your organization in the most efficient way possible to drive mutual success. So it's thinking about the systems, how they integrate together, and how the individuals running the systems are going to use them. So it's that user journey and user experience that really drive everything forward.
Yeah. And just to confirm, you're thinking about systems that can help you internally as well as externally with your partners, correct?
Yeah, it's both. Because
Mhm.
what I found is for operations in general or working with partners, is partners aren't in a silo, right? They're extensions
Mhm.
of your team or they're interacting with all sides of your team at your organization. So they interact with the sales, CX, finance, your operations team. And you have to figure out how to bridge the gaps between all of those teams
Yeah.
so that you're a cohesive unit really driving success. Because if partners are just out on their own island and they're expected to be successful, they're never going to be successful.
Mhm.
So, partner operations help make it to where it is a smooth operation together and understanding how are partners really going to engage with the organization and how's the organization going to engage with partners to where we're giving a smooth customer experience.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. I think in many cases I have seen in my career that there might not be a partner operations department, but many of us have to put on that hat of, hey, I need to fix something here because we need the systems to really integrate the different functions, right? Partnerships is very cross-functional. You cannot work in a silo, like you said, and you need to come with, I guess, a process-driven mentality, I guess, to drive or to build systems. Is that how you think about it as well? Is a lot about systems and processes? Do you think a lot about processes before thinking of systems? How does that work for you?
I think it's a combination of, I actually start with what is the end goal?
Hmm.
And what do I want them, what's the action that I want them to take? And that action that I want them to take drives the user experience. And what is my partner experience that they're going to have? And then what teams internally are going to be affected by that, or how are they going to interact with it? And that's where I get into the systems piece of it.
Hmm.
And then designing the overall flow from that. So
Hmm.
I'm very much an advocate for the partner journey and the partner experience, and ultimately the customer experience that goes with it. And so I want to make sure that we always work backwards from like the ultimate goal and the partner and customer experience and design the system to make sure that those are to the forefront. But they can't be in isolation. And I think that's the key thing about partner operations is you can't think about partner operations in isolation. It always
Hmm.
has to tie to your organization, right? You're not building your own isolated
Yeah.
organization working with partners, you're integrating to an existing org. And so
Correct.
you have to bridge the gap. And that's how I see partner operations is bridging the gap between our operations, the partner operations, and driving joint customer success. So I very much like to stay within the constraints of like my current organization. For example, we use Salesforce as our system of record. So
Hmm.
I don't want to take us out of our system of record. I want to make
Hmm.
sure all of our internal teams, like when we get a referral, they stay within using their normal process. Because if I have to teach them a brand new process just for partners, well, now
Yeah.
my activation energy just doubled. It's going to be that much harder to get them to adopt a new
Yeah.
process just for partners. So why not take it into what they're already doing and adjust it for partners and bridge the gap instead of being like, hey, we're taking what we have and we're basically duplicating it, but it's a little different for partners. It's bridging the gap in partner operations to tie existing systems, existing processes with as minimal change as possible, but still meet the needs of the partner and the end
Yeah.
customer.
Yeah. Meet them where they are, right? If the sales reps are working a specific CRM, Salesforce, or whatever it is, yeah, don't introduce another tool for them. It's just gonna make it more difficult for everybody. So
And then it
I
ends
think
up
that
not getting used.
yeah, exactly. I think that idea, I mean, has existed for some time, right? But it has been challenging to do those integrations. And I think it has been challenging also to do some of the automations that everybody, has desired for a long time. But I
Mhm.
have seen some of the things that you're doing. And can you tell us a little bit about what is the art of the possible when it comes to integrations and automations? Like, what are your magic tools to do that right now?
Oh my gosh. It literally feels like the art of the possible. And sometimes it's overwhelming. It's too much.
Mm.
So my go-to tools right now, and of course in this tech change and everything there's a new tool every day that have you seen this and this and it does all this and I'm like
Yeah.
I barely got the ones from 7 days ago.
Yeah.
But my major tools that I use right now, obviously, Salesforce is our system of record. And
Hmm.
so I have reports so that we don't have to leave Salesforce. They automatically push into Airtable. And Airtable is kind of my consolidation layer across all my
Hmm.
partners. And Airtable is a super powerful tool. If you don't use it, I highly suggest you play with it. But probably 6 months ago, I remember a couple of our team members went to an Airtable conference and they came
Hmm.
back and they showed some of the features of it. And I was like, man, I would love to like learn a little bit, but Airtable is hard, man. Like there's a lot of challenges that go with it. Some of the formulas and everything that are in there. Like I remember I would spend hours trying to figure out a formula to get it to do what I wanted
Yeah.
it to do. But now I can combine that with ChatGPT or Gemini to get a formula and it's done in 2 seconds. And so
Awesome.
that really shifted how I was able to use
Yeah.
Airtable, or I was able to say, hey, I have this info on this table and I want it here, and here's my output. How do I do that? And I had it more concisely teach me how to use Airtable.
Hmm.
And the learning curve was just so much better, and that's how I got good at Airtable. And for us, I used Airtable as I could create views for specific
Hmm.
partners. And it was like a really insanely lightweight PRM is what I did initially.
Okay.
Like very, very, very lightweight. And then I had the idea that I wanted to make interfaces, which was like a graphical view of Airtable for
Hmm.
partners. And so I wanted to do that, but it came down to licensing that I would have to give partners licenses, and that got really expensive. And we're like, no, can't do that. Don't want to do that. So I kind of tabled that for a while. I know
Hmm.
now, I know there's other plugins that you could use, but being a hacker myself, and why find a solution when you can build it yourself? I wanted to learn how to vibe code. And
Yeah.
so I taught myself how to vibe code with Cursor. And now
Cursor. Okay.
Cursor is one of my tools it's my buddy. I love it. So much fun. And I ended up vibe coding a PRM. It started out as a quoting tool. It has become a PRM, and Airtable is my backend because that's where all my
Awesome.
data was. I didn't
Yeah.
have to get it approved by engineering. I already had access to it. And I could build a partner facing view. And
Hmm.
now I'm able to have partners see all of their data in a very visual, like awesome way. They have
Yeah.
access to the quoting tool. I have Airtable as kind of my consolidation layer, and then Salesforce is still our system of record.
Wow.
My major tools is Airtable for one, Cursor is probably my number two. But that's just because vibe coding has been kind of my hobby. It's been really fun. I've also built other apps just for fun because I've had a really good
That's
time.
cool.
But the AI tools like basic chat GPT is
Yeah.
huge in helping design, like help me understand how to use other tools has been really
Hmm.
helpful. Building out infographics and things like that. Like those are some key tools that have been really great. But now there's 500 others that are on the list to try. And
Yeah.
you only have so much time in a day.
Yeah. And there's always a new one every day. There's a new tool out there that pops up, and
So
yeah,
much.
like you said, you just got one last week, and why is this new thing already coming out?
Yeah. It's
Let me
like
let me
I
stick to one and learn it. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Um,
I was up to date 4 days ago, and now it's like I'm 4 years behind. Like that's
yeah.
how fast everything is changing.
Changing. Yeah.
And I can't keep up. And so I think that's where I've obviously want to learn. I want to see new things, but I've also understood that there's limitations. There's only 24 hours
Hmm.
in a day. So what can I do and what can I do well? And let's hone
Hmm.
in on this. And until there's some major thing, like we're gonna stay with what can I do well
Yeah.
right now.
I really like the architecture, I guess, that you have designed. You have Salesforce, your source of truth, right? Salesforce is
Mhm.
a source of truth. You have Airtable that manages a lot of data, but it's not pretty. So then you develop an interface for partners using Cursor,
Mhm.
right? And in that architecture, then you use ChatGPT as your tutor,
Yeah.
right? Hey, how do I do this in Airtable? Help me with this formula or something. So
Yeah.
I need to follow your steps on that one. I really like what you're doing, and I can see so many different use cases to build something on your own in a fairly quickly manner once you ramp up, of course.
Yeah.
Um,
I think one of the big things was like I can design with Cursor, I can design the PRM that I'm making exactly for what my partners and customers need.
yeah.
And like I know there's some great tools out there, but when we're a smaller program and we're still trying to figure out exactly what works, like being able to design and being able to make these changes and push them live, and not only is it a quoting tool and a PRM for partners, but it's also
Hmm.
for the partner managers. It's a how we manage our team and how
Yeah.
we manage our workload. There's a whole aspect of that to it as well. And you wouldn't be able to get any of that, or at least in one tool as part of
Hmm.
like a traditional PRM, which is cool.
Yeah. I have one more question for you. I'm sure you have already developed quite a few solutions, processes, automations. Which one you think is the best one in terms of impact? Like not necessarily the most complicated, but the one that has helped you and the team the most in working with partners. Which one drove the most impact for the business?
That's my workload ease process. So my workload ease is it's kind of hidden within all of that,
Mm-hmm.
where in Airtable, all of my elements that I potentially talk to partners about. So like new business, referrals, upsells, like our next cadence meeting, any sort of like QBRs, they all have dates associated with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so Airtable is able to aggregate those dates. And let's say I am able to find my earliest date. So if my earliest date is today, and I know I have to reach out to the partner today about something, it's also going to find anything within the next 3 days so that I don't reach
Mm-hmm.
out today about something and then reach out tomorrow about something because then I just don't look like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's going to find like, here's the things we need to talk about this partner about. And it summarizes it for me. And so I have a view in my PRM that I know I have to talk to all of these partners today. Here's
Mm-hmm.
all the relevant things that you have to discuss with them. And here's the major contacts. Here is a sample email communication if you want to send it to them. And it aggregates everything together in one view. So previously, I'd have to go into Salesforce and I'd have to find it in 7 different places and
Yeah.
make sure I stay on top of everything. Now it's aggregated in one spot, and I only have to look, okay, this is this partner, this is the state of the relationship. If I have a
Yeah.
meeting today, I know exactly what I need to talk about and nothing falls through the cracks.
Yeah.
And that has been the most impact because I can work through, I know I have 10 partners I need to talk to today, and I know exactly what I need to talk to them about. And I just update the follow up date to whatever date next, and I know I can trust my data. So internally, everyone knows what's going on, when, why, everything. And then externally, I look like I really have my shit together, but really,
Yeah.
I just have automations and dates running all of it. And I know I can trust I'm not missing anything. And
Yeah.
that's been the biggest game changer in the last 3 months.
That's really cool. Like I don't think I have ever seen a system like that. Like you have your own personal assistant, basically.
Yeah.
It tells you what to do, with
Yeah.
who, this partner and so on. That's really cool. Really, really cool.
And on a day like today, like I walked into work and I had like 4 fires to put out, right?
Mhm.
Like it was one of those days where I walked in the door and like everything's on fire and you just want to turn around and walk out and be like, okay, we're gonna try again tomorrow. Like this
Yeah.
was a lot. It was one of those days. And so I worked through all the fires, and normally that would have like completely derailed my day. And I would have come in tomorrow with like double the amount of work because I wouldn't have been able to
Mm.
get through everything. Well, because everything was just in one view and I knew exactly
Mhm.
what I needed to do and when, by the time I got a break, I was like, okay, here's what I need to do, and I got it done. And it was very simple. It was, I know exactly what I need to follow up on. Nothing's
Yeah.
going to fall through the cracks. Like I used to have backflow dates of like 60 to 70 things to follow up, and it's never more than like 3 now.
Yeah.
So it's been a gigantic impact on my days.
That's very good. That's really, really cool. It keeps you on track and it
Huge.
doesn't overload you.
Yeah.
So that's really
Yeah.
good. Rachel, thank you very much for sharing your insights about automation, partner operations. This was really cool, and I hope it inspires others, not just me, because I really want to do a few things like you. But yeah, this was great. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, see ya.